Hello, good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening, classmates. So tonight, we will be discussing about the emotional and behavioral disorder together with the members Miss Irene, Sebastian, and Miss Erica Daog. So let's start. So what does it mean? The emotional and behavioral disorder. So it is an emotional disability characterized by the following: an inability to build or maintain satisfactory interpersonal relationships with peers and or teacher. So that requires more time and effort than most students because they're the ones who are difficult to teach, di ba? Not unlike sa mga normal students na they are not distracted by wala sila na-distract, dili sila distract kay tungod naa sila focus sa ilang minds. And the people na naay disorder like this, which is the emotional and behavioral disorder, they are the one na inability to focus. Di sila ka-focus kay tungod daghag mga magsulod sa ilang minds that mag-lead sa ilahang dagag huna-hunaon ug di maka-focus sa usa ka butang. And the inability to cooperate with others. So kanang instead na kanang ang ilahang minds is hapsay, then naay tendency na ang ilahang minds tungod sa mga problema nga niabot, tungod sa mga situation nga wa nila gi-expect, then wala na sila gana makipag-cooperate with others. Now, inability to remain quiet, di ba? If ikaw nga naa kay disorder like this, nga wala kay gana makig-istorya sa lain, then piliyon na lang nimo nga walay istoryahon, maghilom na lang, mag-peace ang imong minds, di ba? And also inability to follow directions. Kay tungod you don't have the focus, then dili ka follow og directions. Because you don't have the focus, dili ka maka-focus sa usa ka butang o di nimo ma-achieve ang goal kay tungod wala kay focus sa imong sarili. Now, the characteristics of emotional and behavioral disorder, as is evident in IDEA's definition, emotional disturbances can affect an individual in areas beyond the emotional. Depending on the specific mental disorder involved, a person's physical, social, or cognitive skills may also be affected. So, mauna ni siya, some of the characteristics and behaviors in children who have an emotional disturbance include hyperactivity. Mauna siya itong mga short attention span or impulsiveness. So, dirian na itong inability to concentrate o dali ra kay sila ma-distract, no? And next, we have the aggression or self-injurious behavior. So, mauna itong acting out or fighting. This causes physical or emotional harm to other. So, darian na itong mga magkasakita na sa mga panglawas, nanay sumbag na hitabo, nanay hapak, nanay kusi, nanay physical or fighting na nahitabo. Now, we also have the withdrawal. That means not interacting socially with others. Excessive fear or anxiety. So, naana kay anxiety ani, and wala na kay gana makipag-interact to others. Kay tungod, you have the excessive fear or anxiety. No? So, next we have the immaturity. Inappropriate crying, temper tantrums, poor coping skills. So, mauna nitong mga butang nga dali ra ka sa puton, sa mga gagbeng butang, dali ra ka sa puton, dali ra ka maglagot, maghila ka, bisag way hinungdan, mabaw ang rason. So, mauna ng signs of immaturity. And that is also the sign of having the disorder, which is the emotional and behavioral disorder. Okay? So, last, we have the learning difficulties. It means academically performing below grade level. Tungod you don't have the focus, then naadyo tendency nga maglo ang imong grades, di ba? Naadyo tendency nga di ka maka-focus sa imong studies kay tungod wala kay focus sa imong studies. Okay? Tungod wala kay focus sa imong studies, di ka makahimo og assignments, dili ka makahimo og kanang mga activity nga gipahimo, dili nimo ma-comply ang mga activity nga gihatag sa imuha, di ba? So that is why nga low ang imuhang grade level or imuha academically performing kay low. So next, we have here the one of the type of the behavioral disorder. We have the disruptive behavioral disorder. It is a group of behavioral problems. They are called disruptive because affected children literally disrupt the people and activities around them, including at home, at schools, and with peers. So, the disruptive behavioral disorder characterized by a poorly controlled, impulsive, acting out behavior in situations where self-control is expected. So, like, children don't follow the rules, diba? And tend to fight, tend to have difficulties in school, and having trouble making peer relationships. Alright, and also they can be aggressive and they are spending a lot of time getting into trouble. And always remember that these disorders are treatable, and with parent and teacher intervention, a child can pass the struggle successful. So, we have here the most common types of the disruptive behavior, which are the oppositional and defiant, and the oppositional disorder, or what we call oppositional and defiant disorder. And the last one, we have the conduct disorder. So first, let's go to oppositional and defiant disorder. Display a persistent pattern of angry outbursts, argument, and disobedience. While this behavior is usually directed at authority figures like parents and teachers, it can also target siblings, classmates, and other children. So it is normal though for children to be oppositional and defiant at least some of the time. Kay tungod, in fact, it's a sign of healthy development. Enable for you to grow, nga maka-experience ka ani mga butanga, you need to be strong. Mo po daw, healthy po daw ni usahay, kay tungod, makakuha kag mga lessons tungod ani. No, mo ano siyang magawas, no, being unusually angry and irritable. So, dalian na ning dali ra ka masuko and dali ra ka mairita sa mga gagmay nga butang. And frequently losing their temper. And being easily annoyed, deliberately annoying people, blaming others for mistakes, and arguing with authority figures. And last, we have the refusing to follow rules. So, mao na siya ang mga symptoms na makita nato or mapansin nato when we have this disorder, oppositional defiant disorder. So, the last, we have the conduct disorder. So, it is a behavioral problem in children and adolescents, which may involve aggression and law-breaking tendencies. Behavior include aggression to animals and other people, and law-breaking activities such as deliberately lighting fires, shoplifting, and vandalism. So, in this disorder, we have here not just only mild na mga symptoms, but then some of these symptoms kay nagapakita siya og mga harsh na magdulot sa ato og kanang og lalom nga mga panghitabo. So we have here the carries a hidden weapon. So diriya kadalasan to mga watay kana mga gustog magkawat, and then they uses mga weapon para makuha ang specific nga butang. The disruptive behavior, vandalism, setting fires, initiating fights, using weapon to get things, hitting someone, involvement in gang fight, and being physically cruel to people, being physically cruel to animals, and throwing objects at people. So as what we observed here in the oppositional and defiant disorder, kay lahi siya pag-abot sa conduct disorder. Kay tungod ang conduct disorder magud kay naa na siya, gamitan na siya og harm sa usa ka tao, like nagagamit na siya og mga weapon para lang, nagamitan na siya og kanang force gani para kanang na magdulot og physical harm sa tao, di ba? Naadri ang using a weapon to get things. enable for you to get that things, you need to use the weapon, for example, knife, or it's either a gun, para makuha nimo ang imuhang gusto. Next, we have this hitting someone. Diri na to manggawas sa mga magsinumbagay na kailangan o ka ng physical abuse nga mahitabo. And like throwing objects to at people, kaning manglabay na sa mga laing tao, like manglabay bato or whatsoever. And not just only being physically cruel to people, but also being physically cruel to animals. So no, mapansin nato nga not just only nga ang mga taong, some of the people na they are being cruel to other people, but also they are also being they are also physically cruel to animals. So what they did to other people, kay pwede po nila mabuhat sa animals. And if you are experiencing that disorder, then you need to see a doctor and able for you to be treated. No, because as what I've said, these disorders are treatable, and with a parent and teacher intervention, a child can pass this struggle successfully. So this is not a permanent disorder. So naatay ginatawag nga, we have the doctor for psychology to check our situations in our minds para malaman nato kung healthy pa ba ang atong ginaisip or not, tungod sa mga problems nga atong ginaagian. So that would be all. Thank you so much.